got Quentin doing some research, trying to figure out what we've got on Ponce de Leon, but it's based on what I'm looking at in the plans.
I know there's like a remnant of, isn't there a remnant of the parcel that's on the west side of Ponce de Leon's paved roadway?
I don't know.
I'm thinking there may be, because when we did the mattress store, the mattress phone store right there in the corner, they couldn't get access to Ponce de Leon because there was some hiatus there between their parcel and...
This parcel owns all the way to the other side of Ponce de Leon.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. That probably need to be fixed with all this, at least on that first 800 feet or whatever it is.
That'd be a proportionate fair share credit kind of thing.
Well, it would be if it was a 6 lane coming through there right now. They didn't have any. But see, I saw this on here. It's like 20 foot clay road with no one looking page. This is the actual road here. This is the clay road easement of some sort. This is their property line over here. And then they're showing, I'm sorry, here's their property line, I guess. No, here's their property line. But they're showing a 40-foot boundary protection in the center of that 20-foot clay road. All that should be dedicated out. I'm thinking. You know, it started out with me just saying, hey, they need to put a sidewalk on this stretch of road from here to here. And then they come back with why they can't get it in there. And the fact that they're building this up so much, the slope down to the road here is steep. They can't get the sidewalk in there because of it. Maybe they need to rebuild the whole road from here to here. I don't know what rights we have to force them to do that. And they're eating up. Basically got 3 access points on this. Really, they shouldn't have more than 3 access points on this whole piece right here, because all this is together.
That's one thing we did talk about whether or not that access point was going to remain.
They really need to get rid of these two. That's what I'm thinking. Because you know this one's going to be something else, and it's going to need to be as far north as possible from the signal here. Is there a signal? Is that Geronimo also?
I think it is.
Yes, that's got the signal.
I hate to come in here and bring in a bunch of hiccups on this. Well, points to make. Ready to go? Good morning. This is the continuation of our May Technical Review Committee. It's Wednesday, May 16th. Thank you all for getting out and getting up and getting in here early this morning. We've got 3 projects on our agenda this morning. Karen, do we have any announcements? Well, let's move right into our project review. The first item is the Alice Beach Town Center buildings 3 and 4. Minor development application reviewed by Tim Brown. Can you introduce this for us, Tim?
Yes, good morning. This item was continued from the May 2nd TRC meeting. This is a minor development application requesting approval to develop 8,649 square feet of commercial and 18 condominiums within the Alice Beach Town Center on 0.41 acres with a future land use of T&D. It's located on the north side of County Road 38, east of Governor's Court and west of North Somerset Street. The applicant has previously received the comments. The comments are all pretty minor. See no reason to hold it up. I'll turn it over to the applicant.
We have no issues with any of the comments, and we will work to address them all.
Okay, this is a minor development, so we're going to take the opportunity to open a public hearing to invite any comments or questions from any member of the public present today. We'll do that at this time. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to comment on this particular application?
No, it's too early, sorry.
Thank you. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Tim, do we have a recommended motion?
Yes, recommend a motion to approve the project pending resolution of all outstanding issues/comments and move it to the development order.
So
Thank-
moved.
Thank you, Tim. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Motion carries. That brings us to item number 2, the Hinton Drive abandonment application. Request to approve by resolution. It's been reviewed by Vivian Schammel, and I think Bob is probably going to introduce it for us briefly.
Mr. Chair, this is the Hilton Drive abandonment request to approve by resolution project number PA 18000002 being reviewed by Vivian Schammel. This is a petition for abandonment application submitted by Dunlap and Shipman, PA, on behalf of Stan Benicki, requesting an abandonment of a patent easement for more buildable area on plus or minus 0.707 acres. The project is located at 47 Hinton Drive and is identified by the parcel number in your staff project. There appears to be a few minor comments, but nothing major that would hold this project up. And the applicant is here to speak on behalf of it.
Yes, thank you. Melissa Ward with Dunlap and Shipman for Mr. Benecki. And since our meeting last week discussing what we would prefer to call, what we would like or have been calling the realignment of the public easement, we would understand that there are some things that we would need to do, but we'd ask that we be able to move forward as we contact some of the people involved in the easement and then do our public notice for the Planning Commission.
Just for clarification, this body is not going to make a recommendation to approve or deny this application. We're going to acknowledge that the process has been properly followed up until this point, and we'll move it forward to the Planning Commission for their recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. This is an access to the beach that the public already has. There's a request to abandon a portion of it and to swap a portion of the beach, as I understand it, for the portion that is being abandoned that's landward of the beach. That decision is completely up to the Board of County Commissioners. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to move this item forward to the Planning Commission.
Motion.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is not a public hearing, but we'll take the opportunity to invite any technical questions or comments from any member of our audience. Anyone in the audience wish to make a comment about this particular application? Seeing none, we'll move forward. We have a motion at the dais. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Seeing none, motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
very
Mr.
much.
Chair.
That moves us to item number 3, the Blake at Miramar Beach, formerly known as Miramar Beach Senior Living. This is a request to approve by final order. This is a major development application. It's been reviewed by Tim Brown. And Tim, can you introduce this one for us?
Yes, thank you. This item was also continued from the May 2nd TRC meeting. This is a major development application submitted requesting approval to develop a 115,000 square foot assisted living and memory care facility with associated improvements on 10.61 acres with a future land use of coastal center mixed use. It's located at the northeast corner of the intersection of Ponce de Leon Street and US Highway 98 in Miramar Beach. The comments were pretty minor. The applicant has previously received these comments, and I'll turn it over to them.
Thank you, Tim.
So there were, I guess, two major comments that we addressed The first being the sidewalks, whether or not they were going to be on the west side of the road or the east side of the road, I think was the big deal. We've went ahead and shown two options. It's been hard. I understand everybody's busy. I had a conversation with Anna and a quick conversation with Chance and about the sidewalks, and then sent a follow-up email showing the two options and just haven't gotten any feedback from that. So we just went ahead and included both options in our plans. The second comment was from Sammy about the auto turn exhibit and his concerns with curb lines and getting his trucks through our site, and I assured him that we would show that, and I also sent auto turn plans to him to get your feedback on that, and we've addressed all those areas of concern in the most recent plans.
Thank you, Chance. Did you have some?
Yeah, can I ask?
Yeah, sure.
What's your name?
Vincent Orlando.
Okay, so you are the one I spoke with, I remember.
Yeah.
After looking at the two options that you sent over for the sidewalk, and I know Anna's been dealing with this. Unfortunately, she's out right now. But I had some other. It brought some other thoughts to my head about some previous comments, and one of them was the number of access points. What was the outcome of that?
So the concern with the number of access points was that we were to possibly do a lot split and reduce, and that would in turn reduce our total frontage along Ponce de Leon, and then that would reduce our number of access points from 2 to 3, and we're no longer going through with the lot split process.
So based on the frontage of the parcel now, you've got 3 access points.
Correct.
But there's another parcel to be developed south of you that's kind of a part of all this now. Does that mean that parcel will not be seeking an access to Ponce de Leon Street in the future?
So we show a shared access drive as the southernmost drive.
Okay.
On the project.
And that will be the only means of access for that parcel south of this development?
I mean, according to code, yes, we may have to do a minor replot to maybe gain another access point in the future, or some type of variance application maybe. But for now, that's a shared access drive.
Has there been any discussions with DOT? Because I'm not sure that DOT would allow an access off of 98 based on the frontage on 98 and the proximity to the intersection.
Hey Chance, my name is Steve Griggs with Legendary. How you doing?
Good.
Yeah, there's never a thought about coming off of 98. It's not something we want to do. The idea with the shared access is that kind of create more parking on the west side of that building versus on the front, which I think would be a great idea versus, you go down 98, you see all that parking fronting 98 and the building setting back. But our goal is to create that shared access, and then hopefully, if we feel that, we need to come back with another access point off Ponce de Leon, which we don't feel we need to because we want that parcel to complement the back parcel, we'll try to figure something out. But at this point, we're creating that shared access and maybe create some type of little, roundabout within the parcel itself to allow for people to be able to come into that front parcel kind of from the west, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I guess my concern would be, looking at the site layout and your southernmost access point now, if the parcel south of you, when it develops and they seek another access, surely they're going to want some separation from the one you have now, but that's going to encroach on the proximity to the intersection and the signalized intersection there on 98, and the farther we can get that back, the better it's going to be for overall traffic circulation. Maybe even, and I can see that southernmost access point that you have proposed now. When you develop that southern parcel, maybe that one gets closed and it's reconfigured slightly south, but still maintain some decent separation from the intersection. I don't know how it all work out, but I just want to make sure y'all are aware of that and future development plans for that southern parcel. The other thing that I wanted to bring up was about the sidewalk, and looking at the sidewalk options. I'm not sure that what kind of right-of-way is actually dedicated to the public for Ponce de Leon Street. And I didn't have the survey to review, but I can see some stuff that's shown on the plan that I had that was on the survey, but I don't have the whole survey to understand what's going on there. Can y'all explain what
So-
kind of right-of-way we have on Ponce de Leon?
Right, so I had a good conversation with the surveyor, George Gibson, with
Okay.
Dewberry.
Okay.
He told me that the only documented right-of-way out there was the 100-foot power company easement, and that 100-foot really only falls out 20 feet on our side of our property line and 80 feet on the other side of the property line. And Ponce de Leon actually falls outside of that road. And
Ponce de Leon, the actual Ponce de Leon pavement, or?
Correct. It actually falls outside of that 20 feet. So there isn't a documented easement for that Ponce de Leon street. He described it as a prescribed easement.
Prescriptive type
Right,
access.
right.
So the 20-foot, I saw the OR booking page for that 20-foot clay road easement, which appears to be west of the actual Ponce de Leon street.
Yes,
That is dedicated to who?
that's the power company.
The 20-foot clay road
Yes.
is an easement across.
It's described as a clay road on the survey. It's actually part of a 100-foot wide easement that the power company used to install the power lines.
Okay. And, all right.
Doesn't a portion of this property extend on the west side of the pavement?
It does. You have about 20 to 25 feet from the edge of pavement to our property line on the west side.
And guys, I don't have the answer as far as, if there's another easement out there. I know we've looked at the title work and all the title search and nothing popped up. I can tell you that, and you guys probably know better than us, when the last time it was paved and who bore the dollars for that, which I'm guessing it was the county. Somebody would have done that, because I know probably the landowner didn't. So, that's something we need to confirm and figure out.
One thing that on the very northwest corner of your property, I see 2 pins up there on the survey, and they're 50 feet apart. And I've got my right-of-way guys back at the office trying to track down some information on this, but I don't have the findings of their search now.
Right.
But would the developer be interested in dedicating right-of-way to the public on your property now? Is that the way, Mac? I mean, really, I think there's an opportunity to correct some problems in the past, and really maybe even an opportunity to correct some future problems for y'all by dedication of right-of-way here for Ponce de Leon Street.
Chance, to answer your question again, we would be open to definitely dedicating that to correct something that never was done in the past. I think our biggest thing is just trying to determine, Ponce de Leon is a road, and if we dedicate that, to the county, I guess, then they would be responsible for obviously upkeep and this and that. And I know that from the DRB meeting, some homeowners came and they were concerned about what was going on with some of the drainage back on that northwest corner, and they just feel like that street has not really been maintained to their liking, because flooding and this and that, and obviously the DRB wasn't the moment for that to take place. So long-winded answer is yes, we would be more than open to help dedicate a right-of-way and dedicate Ponce de Leon that way, absolutely.
Well, yeah, and you mentioned the drainage issues. We have had some drainage issues north of this parcel here, and I can't remember. Charlie, what's the name of that road that runs east-west up there before you get to Legion Park?
Cocoa Court?
I don't. But some of the reasons that the county couldn't make improvements here is the county doesn't have rights to that property. And if we had some rights to that, then maybe we could address some of those issues moving forward. And you said the power line easement. That power line easement, is that on top of your property, or is it immediately west of your property?
It falls out So right on our property line, 20 feet is on our property and 80 feet is on
Gotcha.
the
Okay.
west side of the property line.
So I wonder if there's any, Mac, would you know if there's any issues with them dedicating right-of-way where there's already been an easement dedicated to the power company?
I think that would have to be coordinated with Gulf Power.
Okay.
That's probably Gulf Power easement.
I mean, I'm sure there's utilities, other utilities in there too, probably,
I think that the dedication would probably have to.
water and sewer, and I don't know.
There's
where-
underground fiber, there's no water and sewer.
Okay, water and sewer's on the east side of the road?
There aren't any existing water or sewer lines that run from 98 down Ponce de Leon to
Really?
Legion Park.
Okay,
You do have overhead electric and underground fiber optic.
okay. So,
I think the fee could transfer, subject to those existing easements. I'm not giving legal advice,
right,
Florida bar. But in my experience, I think it could be, with the appropriate legal counsel supporting it.
so where do we go from here?
I think some further negotiations need to occur to see if this is a possibility and if it makes good sense for both the applicant and the county. If there's an opportunity to correct something here that will benefit the public, I think we need to take advantage of that opportunity. The other part of that is it could reduce some liability for the applicant if they don't own the fee underneath the roadway anymore. And possibly reduce property taxes, smaller parcel.
On, DOT's redoing 98 out there right now with a 6-lane project. There's gonna be sidewalks all through there, and I think it'd be a great opportunity to go ahead and have those sidewalks connect back past this property for future improvements north of here for that residential community. It's important, I think, that all that get addressed with this development.
Chance, and we 100% agree. I think our big thing is we really want to have those sidewalks on the, obviously on the east side of Ponce de Leon versus the west side. So depending upon, because it would benefit everybody, and it would benefit the connection directly to, what's going on 98 and back to the outlet mall and that whole sidewalk. So, I mean, we definitely would like to do that and at least work towards that. And if all else fails, then, we'd stick them on the west side. But our goal would be to put them on the east side, fronting our property and going all the way down, to the south to where it connects with 98.
Okay. Just as a suggestion, I could see the TRC moving this forward subject to satisfaction of outstanding comments and completing the review of the right-of-way and whatever adjustments can be made to support both the applicant and the public.
You need a motion of that?
Someone want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion as stated by Mac.
Thank you, Chance.
Second.
Good thing it's recorded. We have a motion and a second. We'll take the opportunity to invite any questions or comments from any member of our public. Charlie? Thank you. We'll close that part of the meeting. We have a motion at the dais. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed likewise? Hearing none, motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second to you.
Will be adjourned.
I had every plan to be.
Good job.
We're getting in here early now.
I'm going to be there, but I've got it.